Hi, I'm Tracy McGibbon. I'm a cake decorator. I've been decorating cakes, cookies, and other desserts for about 20 years now. Today I'm going to show you how to take your everyday cookies and turn it into a cookie bouquet. For this project, you're going to need the following tools. You're going to need a rolling pin, your spatulas, cookie cutters, cookie sticks, a spatula for lifting your cookies, decorating sugars, as well as your decorating tips to go with your icing bags. And then as well, these are some color mist sprays. So to begin, we're going to take some flour before we begin to roll out our dough and just sprinkle it, and then take your dough and form it into like a round flat patty, and then place it down on your flour. And then you're going to take a little bit more flour, sprinkle it over the top, just to prevent it from sticking to the rolling pin. Then you're going to take your rolling pin and roll out your dough. You want to roll it to about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. And then you're going to take your cookie cutter and you're going to cut out the dough. Then you'll take your cookie spatula and lift the cut dough and place it on your cookie sheet. You want your dough a little bit thicker because you want to take your cookie stick and you're going to insert the cookie stick into the bottom of the cookie. So you're going to place it, hold the cookie, and then just twist it until it inserts. And then just pat out the dough of the cookie. And then you're ready to place this in the oven to bake. You're going to want to follow the directions as per your recipe for baking the cookies, but once the cookies have been baked and are cooled, you can then proceed to decorate as you like. We're going to begin decorating with our tulip cookie. We're going to take our white buttercream icing that I've put into a bag with a coupling. I'm going to take a round tip, so I'll remove my coupler and add that in. And then just push all the icing down to the end, making sure there's no air pockets, and you want to just twist the bag to prevent the icing from coming out the top. So I'm going to outline the shape of the petals on the cookie. And then I'm going to take my green sparkling sugars. So you just want to turn it over, and where you've applied the icing to the cookie, you just want to dab it down. It'll go right where your icing was, and anything that's extra, you can just pull that off. Our next step is we're going to use one of our colors to outline the rest of the cookie, and then we can fill in. We'll just change the end there, and then we're just going to follow the outline of the cookie to get its shape. You want to make sure that you're squeezing nice and consistent so that the icing comes out nice and smooth and it doesn't cut off at all. And then we're going to take our next color, and this is a star tip, and this is going to be used to make little stars for filling in. Just above the cookie, squeeze, let the icing fill in, stop squeezing, and pull away. Try and make your stars as consistent as possible. So you just want to fill it in without leaving any spaces. You want to make sure that it's all filled in with icing. And now we have our first completed cookie on a stick. For our next cookie, we're going to use a little bit different technique this time. We're going to use our color mist spray for this one. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to actually take our cookie and you're going to place it on a paper plate, give your can a little shake, and then with a slow motion, you're just going to spray it back and forth until the entire surface of the cookie is covered. Next, I'm going to take our cookie and I'm going to finish it off with our buttercream icing technique. So you're going to start just in the center of the cookie, and again, twisting the bag so the icing doesn't come out the end, and then just create your design of the cookie. So I'm just going to do petals. I'm just going to go out and around the petal and come back into the center, always moving your hand. If you need to have a rest when you get to the center, take a break there, and then you can start out for your next petal. Finish that off, and then we're going to take our other color, and again this is just with a round tip on it, and we're just going to do the center of our cookie. Squeeze, circular motion around and around and around, stop squeezing, pull it up. There we go. Once you've finished that, you're going to have another cookie for your cookie bouquet. So you're going to need to take a container to put your cookie bouquet in. So I've decided on a small pot. I'm going to take a piece of floral foam, and I'm going to cut it so that it actually will fit into the pot. So I'm going to take it and insert it and push it in so that it's in there snugly. Then I'm going to take just some covering. This is some Easter grass that you could use, or you could use anything really. That's just going to cover the floral foam. Next, you're going to start inserting your cookies into the blossom. So we'll start with the great big one. And this is a fairly large cookie. And then starting at the back of your pot, you're just going to insert it into your floral foam. Then we can take another large cookie, but possibly let's go with something with a little bit different design. And we'll put it off to the side. And again, push it in there. And you can insert these at any angle you like, but you want to make sure that you're doing it balanced so that it's not going to fall to one side as you're doing it. We'll take another cookie. Again, I'm going to stick with a longer stick so that we can have this balanced out. Then you can start with some smaller cookies that are on some smaller sticks, so possibly our heart. But try and balance it out so that you don't have the same ones beside each other. So we'll add one more in here and we'll insert it into the side here. And there you have your completed cookie bouquet.